Now, enough of IPRS. Let us speak about PPL, Public Performance Limited. PPL is for those who own, for the owners of the sound recording, that is the producers, usually the record labels. It may be that it's quite often it happens abroad that you are very big producers, they own the sound recording and they license the sound recording to the record label for distribution. Or tomorrow, now, even today, with all the tools at our disposal, you don't even need a record label. You can upload it on the streaming services, on the telcos, and directly have your own marketing team to do the marketing. That few people can do. They are smart enough to build all these support systems around them. But for the rest, it's better that they go to a record label who it's their business to provide this support system. So PPL, if you are the owner of a sound recording, you have to become member of PPL. PPL is going to collect the performance right whenever a music is being played. Your music is being played in hotels, restaurants, clubs, radios, television, wherever your sound recording is exploited. PPL will not collect when there is only live singing, because then the sound recording is not used. So in that case, it will only be IPRS. But wherever your sound recording is exploited, PPL should collect and then redistribute. Now we come to another difficult subject. Your music is being played in clubs. Your music is being played in malls, in hotels and restaurants. How do we know that your music is being played there? Because these people, these licensees, they don't keep track. They may just put a radio and play the music. A hotel doesn't keep track of what music is being played. A club doesn't keep track of what. So what is the solution? Again, until very recently, either there was no option. Either you take the money but you don't know whom to pay, so you have to find a formula to satisfy your members, or you don't collect, which is a stupid thing to do. So until recently, for all these sources which we call unlogged, there are no logs. We don't know what's being played. That money, which is substantial, would get divided according to some parameters. Radio play, the hits, of course, those who get more play on radio, they will get more share from these sources of revenue. But this system was unfair because it was skewed towards the big artists, the big songs. And we know that in a restaurant, it's not necessarily the big songs that are being played. In the mall, it's not necessarily the big songs. But there was no other way. We had to do the best we could. Today, we have technology that by placing a small machine in a club, we monitor and we can track exactly which music is being played. Now, obviously, this has a cost. So we will never be able to put such a machine in all the clubs across the country. It's too expensive. And it doesn't make sense that you collect, say, 60 crores from the market, but yet you spend 40 crores on just tracking the music. It doesn't make sense. So what you have to do, what should be done and what is most likely going to be done is that you select a few clubs across the country and you monitor these and you base your distribution system on these logs, because we assume that what these clubs are playing, the other clubs too will be playing. This is, again, it's an improvement. It's not going to be perfect, but perfection sometimes is the enemy of the good. So, but it will provide a greater transparency, and it will be beneficial especially to people who produce electronic music. Because again, radios don't play this music. They're being played in clubs massively, but there was no tool by which we could check these and then pay you. So, which brings me to another very important issue. I've been saying that just now, the music that all the clubs are playing, radio doesn't play you. Music that I needed for restaurants, radios don't play. What are they playing? In a survey I did recently, I found that of a particular catalog, one of probably one of India's biggest catalog, radios play hardly not even 2% of that catalog. Okay. So you have public airwaves that have been auctioned off by government to private companies, just, to the highest bidder. Oh, let's get the most money, I'll make them to pay through their nose. And then they can, for them to recoup all this investment, and because they are private companies, their aim is profits. So they will play only what is successful already. So today you have all radios, you can switch channels, you don't recognize this, because all of them are playing the same music. And they are playing only 2 or 3% of the musical heritage, of the musical production of this country. Now, this is a situation that is very unhealthy. Moreover, what you should know is that these very radios have gone to court to challenge that there is no underlying right, we don't have to pay the lyricists and the composers. And the matter is now in the Delhi High Court. So, you have a whole radio industry that did not exist 20 years ago. Zero revenue. You have a music industry that is considered today to be roughly 1,200, 1,400 crore industry. And out of nowhere, you have a radio industry that exists purely on the basis of music that has become a 3,600 crore industry. How much do they pay of these 3,600 crores? How much do they pay to the music industry? Let them give you an answer. It's paltry. So this is another issue which is called the value gap. They have taken all our value, make a big business of for themselves, and have not given back a part of that business to us, who are the foundation of the whole business. Nobody forces them to play music. Who is forcing them? Nobody. Let them do talk show 24 hours, and let's see how much advertising revenue they will get. So you have a whole industry, the radio industry, that has made has become a massive, thrice the size almost of the music industry, on the back of the music industry, and pumping so little money back. this is really an issue that has to be fixed. It's unfair. It's harmful. Because the music that you create, it's all over the place, you're everywhere, and you don't get anything out of it. We're working for free for these people, for these businessmen who make a business, and who then challenge that there is no underlying right. We don't have to pay lyricists and composers. We only have to pay the producer. So this is something that the whole songwriting community has and publishers have to address. There is an immense value gap.